Sarah. Thank you for joining me today. It has been a little bit since I have made a video and just sat here with you and talked to you and just been a presence. I've been a little bit quiet in my corner as for the last month and a half there has been lots of things that have sort of refrained me from thinking of content, making content, despite sort of feeling this heavy weight the last few months, which has been like I've been so disappointed because I've been wanting and missing so much of my creativity to come on here and make videos for you and be here for you, and it's been a really difficult space. And I guess with what I've been going through the last month, it's kind of all tied together, I think, where I sort of feel at a base level now where I'm kind of trying to find some footing again. And I wanted to do a whisper ramble with you, just sort of explaining what's kind of been happening for me and just some updates since my last video, because there's some bits and pieces I want to share and just some emotional points for this video. So just disclaimer to anyone who's watching, I will be talking about pet loss and grief. Just wanted to put a disclaimer there because I will be talking about that, and that's going to be really difficult for me. I just will say for this video too, my mind might be a little bit scattered, a little bit scatty, just because sometimes, like, when I try and explain things, I just get really overwhelmed with the information that I need to say, that I sort of get a bit lost. So if I pause or I just kind of repeat things or just take a moment, just bear with me. I just find that stuff sort of kind of it's a bit too much sometimes, so I may need that extra sort of level just to kind of come forward and reiterate what I want to say. So this last month, I don't know about you, but September has felt like the longest month but the quickest month at the same time. Like, I feel like from the start till today, so today's the 30th when I'm filming this, it's just felt so long, but so many things have happened so quickly that the days have just been moving past. I mean, we're already in October, pretty much. It's wild. But this month has been one of the most challenging months to process and deal with, and I don't know, something in me today wanted to just do a video because I've been so quiet on here, and I've had about two of you comment on my previous video just checking in with me if I was okay, and it just sort of sparked something to be like, I miss doing videos. I really want to come back and I want to make content for you and connect with you and share with you. Like, I've been really wanting that. Just what I've been experiencing has really held me back doing that. A big one being is I recently lost my beautiful fur baby Cupcakes, my cat, my beautiful almost 19-year-old cat Cupcakes. Her name is also Moosey. That's her nickname. She's got lots of nicknames, but Moosey or Moo, that's her name. And I experienced the most expected and unexpected grief and processing of loss, and this has been like from losing her recently. It's only been now 2 weeks. This is the first proper loss where I've actually felt the depth of grief for the first time. And to any of those who have experienced grief, it is one of the most unique confusing experience, emotional experience, human experience that one can go through, I think. And yeah, like I don't even know. I still feel in so much confusion and emptiness, but peace at the same time. So I think I shared a little bit about Cupcakes, or Moosey. I shared a little bit about her through my videos. I don't think I've actually shown her in my videos, so I will show you a photo. I'll pop it here of my beautiful little baby. I also call her, it's really weird, but I have a nickname for cats. I call them Sasa. This is my Sasa, so S-A-S-A. That's how you spell it. As I said, really weird nicknames, and I had so many songs that I made up for her. Anyway, this is my baby, and she was one of those, like, she was just such a soul cat for me. I'm trying to find the right words. It's so hard sometimes to express how you feel about someone or something you loved so much. It is so hard. It's like that love that you have can be so priceless that there's nothing to describe it. It's just more of like a feeling. And the love and connection that we had together, it was just unbreakable. And she was such a crutch for me over the last 5 years with experiencing health issues and me going through anxiety and all of it. Because I've been unemployed for quite some time, kind of working for myself, but then also trying to find my footing. But these last few years have been quite challenging for me, which I haven't really shared too much about on here. But to have my beautiful girl, it's just, she's really been a shining light in my life. And just when you have that soul connection with an animal, it is just unlike any other. So I'll start with her and I'll get into some other things because I really want to honor her. She's so special, and I just want to send my love for anyone who has lost their beautiful fur baby. I deeply, from my own experience now, know what the pain is like, and I don't wish it on anyone, but my heart goes out to you because it just really gives us this harnessing strength, but also this sort of space to really feel and understand, honestly, the complexities of life. Because as much as there's spaces where we live, there's also spaces where things pass and things, you know, I guess move on, and shift and change and all of that. It's like when they say when there's life, there's death, and it's like, yeah, it's a really odd feeling. I'm still trying to process all of this, and I think, like, I've cried so much over the last few weeks, and I think I've been grieving her already before she went, that I guess talking about it now, I feel quite mellow and a little bit numb, but I'm also very at peace at the same time. So, Cupcakes, she was really suffering a lot of health issues over the last few years. She was battling chronic ear infections all the time, digestive issues, up until the point where last year we found out that she had a mass on her liver, and that was the hardest news to ever receive. And at the same time, I received news about the health of my dad, and it was just, it was so much. And from finding out that, it's been almost a year now since finding that information out about her, and my dad, but since then, the last year has been just so stressful, and I have been in almost full caregiver mode of Cupcakes, which I don't regret any minute, any second of it, because she was my everything, my absolute everything. And might I say, she was the most sassiest princess best treatment, affectionate and talkative cat girl that I have ever met in my life. She was definitely queen energy. But I loved her dearly, and we're both October babies. Our birthdays are 3 days apart, and I had her since I was little. So she was almost 19, and then I'm almost 29. So we had how many years apart? 10 years apart. So we've lived so much together and had so many memories together. But the last year of her health issues and all of that was becoming quite taxing to not only me, but of course for her, and there was so much of routine that I had to change and dedicate, and I was finding it really, really hard, but I knew it's just what I had to do. I wanted to sacrifice myself to be there for her because she was everything to me, and out of everyone around me, I was the one that mainly showed up for her. And it's just, sometimes there's always just that one person who does the most for you when there's hard times. Not that others don't, but and she was my baby. I wanted to be there for her, for everything. And then until of recent, she was just getting a lot more irritable with her ears, which her ears were then leading to issues with her face and her eyes and her teeth, and it was just becoming really problematic. And unfortunately, because of her age, there was not much I was able to do in terms of surgery and dental cleans and all of this sort of stuff. So I was working alongside my amazing veterinarian, who she combines Western medicine with holistic and Chinese herbal medicine for pets, and she top notch, absolute top notch. I love her so much. Her name is Crystal, and I absolutely love her. If you live in Melbourne in Australia, her name is Dr. Crystal Lord, and her clinic is called Dr. Crystal's Healing Vet Clinic. I think it's that. But please definitely go see her. She has been absolutely phenomenal with Cupcakes, and especially over the last 3 years, just trying to really knuckle down to help and give me the service and care that I needed with her. And she's just, oh my god, she was so fantastic, because Cupcakes is quite a sassy, feisty and spicy cat when it comes to being handled. If you gotta take her to the vet, she does not like being touched in certain places. She's not a trooper to get her temperature done. Nothing. Most of the time when we had to do dental work and things, she had to be all blood work and stuff, sedated. She had to be, because she was just too feisty. She was like, don't touch me. Which is fair enough. But Crystal was amazing, and just working with her where we didn't even have to do sedation for difficult things. Just she knew how to handle spicy cats. So if you have a spicy cat, Crystal will be amazing for you. So if you live in Melbourne, she's just here, located in South Yarra, so she's so good. Anyway, so yeah, we were working very close together to try and help Cupcakes with her health, and I was working alongside with Crystal, and then Crystal had an animal communicator at the same time with her clinic, so I was working with her to sort of see what we could do. And unfortunately, it was in a place of her health issues could only be managed because there just wasn't much we could do with her age, and that is the hardest thing ever sometimes, when you just get to a point where you're unable to give and try and do more versions of help and remedies and things to get them better. It's at a place where it's management, and that's the hardest thing to digest sometimes, because for me, I'm so much of a go-getter of there's gotta be an answer, there's gotta be a way, there's gotta be something I can do to make this better. I could only do pain management and little things to give her a quality of life. You know, for the time she has left with me, it was the hardest thing to come to terms with. But I mean, with that said, she was the strongest girl I have ever come across. She gave me so much more time with her. She was so strong. And unfortunately, just her body was communicating to her that it was nearing time. And this is, honestly, it's so crazy, but at the same time that Cupcakes' health was getting at a place where it was declining, my hand, which I don't know if you remember in my previous video, but if not, the next part I was going to talk about was my hand, but I was experiencing such problematic issues with my hand, from experiencing cellulitis to having really swollen fingers, itchy swollen fingers with all these itchy bumps on it where I couldn't even make a fist. I describe a bit more of that in my previous video, but I was experiencing that at the same time, and it was just the most stressful month. And there's a bit more to this story tying in with Cupcakes, which the synchronicity, it's insane. I'm just gonna put this here. But I guess, yeah, leading up to Moosey passing to the Rainbow Bridge, which was very hard to do, I at the same time was working on my hand. So this is my regular hand. This is the hand here that I've been working on healing. So you can kind of see there's a lot of sort of bumps and discoloration. They're not like visibly, swollen, but I'm telling you, I couldn't even make a fist. Like, the most I could do is this. And I couldn't make a fist of my hand for a good month and a half. And to try and figure out what was wrong with my hands, I was so stressed. Oh my god. Which is why I didn't really make any content, because I just felt so miserable and I could not use my hand to the greatest of my ability, and I was really worried. So I will connect this with Cupcakes. So with this hand, eventually, after a lot of testing and finally going to see a dermatologist, they suspected that I have what is called chilblains. So SHILLBLAINS. Yeah, chilblains. I'm just gonna take a sip of water. I just whacked my teeth with that. So chilblains, which is a circulatory condition that can happen in your hands and your feet primarily. It can also happen other parts of your body, but particularly these are the vulnerable areas, and it only happened to the one hand. So yeah, you can definitely see so much scarring. I was finding, so where do I start again? Sorry. I went to see a dermatologist and we did a lot of work to knuckle down what this was, and we found out that it was chilblains, which is a circulatory condition, and I had to go on like an oral topical steroid to help the inflammation, because when I'm telling you, my fingers were so swollen, like they looked like it's a weird thing, but like sausages, like they looked like that. They were so inflamed and so puffy, and they were like purple and white. Like, that's how bad they were getting. Oh my god, it was so scary. I had no idea what was happening to me, but we finally got there where I was doing like topical steroids and stuff to help. But at the same time, I went to go see so I call her my healer, but she does like a lot of like Reiki healing, and she's very, very intuitive. So she does a lot of mind to body work and connecting illnesses and health conditions when it gets connected to like emotions, which is very up my alley of what I like to do in my health coaching practice. When I was practicing, I'm very much about the mind and the body, and the body keeps score, you know, of what you go through. So yeah, when I went to go see her at the same time of working with a dermatologist, interestingly, this is still so wild, but before I got the confirmation of what it was through my dermatologist, when I went to go see my healer, she immediately was like, this is all circulation issues, but the swelling is actually got to do with Cupcakes. Because I went to her, and you know, usually when I go see her, we sit down first before we do like energetic work, you know, like Reiki and things and like massage stuff. We talk first, and you know, you go see her and you tell her kind of what's been going on. And the first thing that I mentioned to her was the stress of Cupcakes, that it was just, not that it felt like a burden, but like I felt like I was sacrificing, oh my phone, sorry, I was sacrificing so much of myself. Oh, I'm so sorry, let me just fix this. There we go. I'm so sorry, you wouldn't know a thing, but just for me. Yeah, that I was sacrificing so much of myself to help her, like to the point where with Cupcakes I had to make sure that I had to feed her 4 times a day because she was so hungry all the time because of her liver issues. I, you know, was cleaning her litter multiple times a day. I was giving her medication. I was really making sure I had to be home at certain times to feed her, to care for her, to do all these things repetitively. And that mixed in with trying to find my footing in life, trying to work with my fears and my phobias through therapy, and just trying to find happiness, and being really stressed in my life and quite anxious about where I'm going. It's just been so much where I've kind of felt a little bit trapped. But at the same time, I was so stressed of losing her due to her conditions. It was causing me so much stress that my healer, her name's Danny, that Danny was saying to me that the swelling was you not like being able to let go of Cupcakes, and the stress of her was making your hand swell. And when I heard that, it just sat in with me where I'm like, oh, like it just hit a point where I'm like, oh my god, that makes sense. And I'm not even kidding, when I was talking with her in the session, I could feel in my fingers the swelling easing in my hand. Like I couldn't see it, but I could feel it, and she was making all these connections back to me, and I'm like, oh my god. And she was mentioning as well that Cupcakes was staying here longer for you. Oh god, I don't want to get emotional. Okay. But yeah, so she was staying here longer for you. Sorry, I'm seriously such an emotional person, but like I really want to keep it quite strong for this video because I've been crying so much over the last bit. But just sometimes I guess when you talk about things that mean so much to you, it just, yeah, it can just trigger things. But I'm doing my best to keep myself poised. I really want to, for me and for Moosey. But Cupcakes was actually holding on to me because she knew that I was going through a lot in my life, and so we're kind of holding on together. And when I felt into that, because I'm very intuitive with myself, and I know animals try their best to connect with us and be intuitive with us, and I just always know that they're trying to, you know, communicate with us all the time, you know, and it's just how we pay attention. And you know, when I heard all of that, everything made sense. And essentially, like, so much borrowed time with me. And Danny said to me that she's waiting for your blessing. God. Okay. So she said that she's waiting for your blessing to tell her that it's okay to go. Okay. And yeah, that was really heavy to sit into because I didn't know that. And yeah, like when she told me that, I was like, oh my god. Like I felt it, and Cupcakes was telling me all the time. I just could tell through her body language that she was struggling, but I knew that she was also here for me, and I would tell her so many times, like, please don't go yet, don't go yet. But honestly, that level of stress and holding on to her when she wanted to, you know, she wasn't here for me, she wanted to be here for me. It just was like, oh my god, like, I don't want her to feel like that. And at that time, she was on antibiotics to help her tooth because she had a tooth abscess and we couldn't take it out. So we're trying to do some antibiotics to help and see if we could give her a more quality of life and all this sort of stuff. Wait, no, actually we did take it out. We put her under a twilight sedation because she couldn't go under anesthetic, and we actually got the tooth out thinking that we could reduce those problems for her mouth and things like that. It was just, yeah, there was a lot going on with her health. And but just the antibiotics wasn't working, and something in me that week, because that week paired with going to see Danny and all of that, the dermatologist, it was all happening at once the same week. There was something in me that told me intuitively that don't give her the antibiotics because it's not going to do anything. And I didn't want to listen to myself. I was like, look, no, let's just try it, let's just see, you know. But I knew my intuition was right. And so then, yeah, when I found out that, I was like, oh my god, everything's connecting and making sense. And she's like, she just wants your blessing that it's okay to go. And she's like, this swelling won't go down until you tell her it's okay to go. And so essentially, she was saying that when Moosey is able to have the space and the blessing to go when she's ready, your swelling will ease down in your hand, but everything is circulatory. So then after that, we did some like Reiki and like aromatherapy massage to help me move just a lot of stuck emotions that were stuck in my chest and my back. And there was just so much grief and anticipatory grief and knowing that loss was coming. And can I mention at the same time, for the last few weeks prior to that, I was always feeling like there was a heaviness in my chest and like something was in my throat, and I just felt like my body was preparing me for something. The weirdest feeling, but I'm very much in belief that like our bodies let us know so many things before things can happen. And I just knew something was coming. And I would tell Matt all the time that I'm like, I feel like something's coming, but I don't know. I feel like grief is coming, but I can't tell. And I would be sobbing about Cupcakes for weeks and weeks and weeks beforehand, worrying about her health, wanting to get her better, but I knew something was happening. And so we did some emotional release and sort of like releasing the ties of me and Cupcakes, like energetically, in a very loving way, and she held so much space for me. She was so beautiful. And she said to me, when you go home, whenever you're ready, I want you to sit with Cupcakes and I want you to express and connect with her and tell her that you have that she has your blessing, that it's okay to go, because she wants to hear it from you. And so, the next day I did that. She was so avoidant to listen to me. I remember when I tried talking with her first, she like tried to turn her head away, and I'm like, hey, I'm like, pretty girl, I gotta talk to you. And I thanked her for everything that she's done for me, and I told her, you don't have to hold on anymore, like, it's gonna be okay, and I want you to be in peace. And I'm not kidding, but in the same week that I found out about my hand, that I said that to her, the swelling started to go down in my hand. And like, I only used the topical steroid once or twice, because, like, you know, I did it a little bit, but then I don't know, something said, you don't need to use this that much right now because something else is working for you. Within 2 days, my fingers were going back down in size, and mind you, I was on a topical steroid before seeing my dermatologist with my GP, and it was doing nothing. It ended up causing me all these excess bumps and things and scarring. And then that same week, I noticed Cupcakes' health decline more and more and more, to the point where her face was starting to swell, her eye was starting to shut because she had her tooth abscess here. And I could just tell she wasn't herself in that week at the same time, but she was herself as well. And literally that next weekend after, I woke up one morning and she was not herself. Her meows were different. They seemed more sad. Her eye was really shut, like this eye was completely shut, and it looked really swollen. And I'm like, oh my god, something's happening. Like, my vet was closed. The crystal was closed for the weekend, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to take her on Monday, and I didn't know when it was time. And I remember Danny said to me, I only see a couple of weeks, but Cupcakes will want to go when she wants to go. So she will choose that day and she will let you know. And something in me that morning when I saw Cupcakes, I was like, something doesn't seem right. And I started getting really emotional and worried that I'm like, she's not okay. I went to feed her and she jumped down from her chair and she was wobbling. Like, when she was walking, she was very wobbly on her legs, and I'm like, what is happening? And I was really worried, and I was so scared to tell my mum. But I ended up telling her, and I started sobbing to communicate that something was wrong with Cupcakes, and finally my mum saw her walk. And then when she started walking, the back of her legs were giving way, where she was kind of dragging them a little bit on the floor. She was using her front paws to support herself. And we just knew in that moment that it was time. I've never seen her like that. But she was not herself at all. And we were panicking because my mum didn't want anything to happen to her, and we didn't want her to go or have anything else serious happen to her that was traumatic. So we immediately worked together to be like, we need to take her to an emergency vet. I think this is time. And I think with any pet parent, having to think of any realm of euthanization with pets is the most hardest, yet sometimes quickest and most like on the moment decision sometimes that you have to make. Sometimes you have time, sometimes you don't, and said something's wrong with Cupcakes. And so we all got things together. Everything was so stressful to go and take her to the emergency vet. And oh god, things were happening so quickly. We took her in, we got her seen right away, and we made the decision with the vet that we saw, that we were thinking it's time for her to go to the Rainbow Bridge. And making that decision was really, I don't know, I was out of my mind. I felt so out of my body. And I don't know. But one thing is for sure is I got to be the last person where she saw my face. The last face she saw and the last voice that she heard. My mum was in the room and we all said our goodbyes, but before we were choosing the time to let her go, I sat in the room with her and I just spoke to her. She was sedated at that point, so when you take your pet for euthanization, they needed to sort of a preparing stage where they do a sedation, and then the next following stage is they give the IV to allow them to cross over. And I was so, to be a part of this was so not what I expected. I was hoping in my heart that she would just pass in her sleep and that it'd be peaceful, but to kind of be in a room and see everything sort of being done, you don't see her being sedated, they take her away and they bring her back, but just to be a part of that process, to me it's a bit traumatic. I might actually get my phone charger. Not that I need to tell you that, but I need to charge my phone so I can talk more. Just give me a second. Okay, alright, I'm back. So, she went through being sedated and came back to us, and I asked my mum and Matt, can I just be in the room with her? My mum was quite distraught, and as was I, and my partner, I shouldn't say partner, Matt was such a strong anchor for both me and my mum. Honestly, he was the best I could ask for. And yeah, when Cupcakes came back in after being sedated, where she was still there, she could still breathe, she could still hear me, but she was very subdued in her sedation. I just had my moment to talk with her and thank her, and at the same time it was so stressful, but there was a part to laugh at this very day as well, because when I feel so anxious and so stressed, like with anyone, we always have to try and go to the bathroom, or we always have to nervous pee or nervous poo at the same time, and just my body was wanting to do all these things, but the toilets at the place I couldn't go because they just were not clean. And oh god, we were just, my mum and I and Matt were all trying to find humour in this process as well, of damn, I need to go to the toilet, I need to do this. And sometimes amongst the sadness there needs to be humour as well, and all of that. And I don't know, it was just nice to have a little bit of humour amongst a really sad time. But I held it out even though my body was screaming at me. But it's just mind and gut connection, it's a real thing. And I just know that Moosey would be laughing at this as well. But we had a chat, me and Moosey, and I just cried a lot with her. And there's a little photo that I took of us where I'm just holding her paw. She had her little a little wrist wrap, and she had her sort of IV and things, but I just held her paw because they had to sort of shave the fur on her paw to put the IV in. And I just thanked her. And at first I thought I couldn't be in the room when they were going to put her to sleep, and I was hyperventilating and crying, and Matt held me outside and he was just helping me sort of pick what to do and what felt right to do. And I then asked him, could I just have a moment? And I was trying to sort of self-soothe myself, but hyperventilating and crying at the same time. And something in me was like, no, I need to do this. I need to be there for her. And so we all went back in and we said our loving goodbyes, and I gave her so many kisses. And I told her, come find me again, and that I will see her when it's my time, that we'll be together again. But I know she's not going to leave me. But I said, come find me again, come find me in my dreams, and just like, yeah, your presence, come find me. And she very much then went to sleep. The vet was so beautiful, and it was the hardest thing ever. I think the going home and the leaving her there is the hardest part. It's the hardest part. And just going home to an empty house and empty things and not hearing her meow and all these things. It's so difficult. It's so difficult. And I guess the last few weeks has been so challenging on me. But on a lighter part of it, we did have her cremated, and she is safely back with us. She came back yesterday, and she's in a beautiful sleeping cat urn. It's a beautiful wooden cat, and it's sleeping in like a little ball, and her ashes are in there. And we got her paw. We got like you can get your pet's paw and have it inked on a little canvas. So we've got that, and then I chose to have this, but you can get a fur clipping of your pet's fur that you can just keep and have as a keepsake forever. And it comes as a little heart, and that's her fur. Her beautiful fur. Yeah. And yeah, and we have a little section for her in our house with some photos. We're gonna get some more photos, and yeah, just trying to honor her and make that special. I've been through such a whirlwind of emotions, where sometimes I think because it's so peaceful that we made that connection, and sort of, I guess, agreement together, both Moosey and I, to sort of let go. The fact that that happened a week later, that just shows already that animals listen, animals know, animals do so much to be there for you, and to just trying to keep myself together. My nose is like a tap right now. I don't have any tissues on me either. It's okay. There's been nights where I've cried myself to sleep. There's been days where it feels bright. There's been times where it doesn't. Each day, each hour is so different. And I think if you're going through pet loss, because grieving, there's no timeline. And sometimes, most of the time, a lot of people don't understand pet grief. They don't. The main ones who do, I'm sorry, my nose, oh my goodness. A lot of people who do get it are people who feel the same way I do, because animals can mean so much to us and play such a big role in our lives, and to so many people that can be the very reason why they're still alive, or they're still there. You know, like, yeah, never judge anybody for, you know, what they're into or like what they love, because guess it could be the very real reason why they're alive. You know, it goes for like if someone loves an artist or someone loves their pet or a person or whatever, that could be the very real reason for having better mental health days and all of that. And Moosey was definitely one of them for me. And I guess for right now, there's a lot of peace, but there's a lot of missing. It feels like there's a part of me that is lost, but it just feels like my brain having to process that what was here is now gone is the hardest connection. And I'm still trying to understand it all. As they say, grief is love, but in a heavy coat. And that very much is what I feel like I'm going through right now. And I guess for me, I don't necessarily feel like I regret anything, or I don't feel guilt or anything like that. Of course, there was moments beforehand in her health journey that I wish I got her dental work done, or I got things knuckled down earlier, but there's never the perfect time, or there was never the perfect way. Things were meant to happen the way it was meant to happen. And my heart just goes out to anybody who is experiencing guilt or regret with their pets if they've passed. You were doing the best that you could. The best that you could. And your pet knows that. They know that, and they don't ever hate on that. They don't, because all they knew from you was love. All they knew from you was love. And that's all. And pets are so beautiful because they share such unconditional love. And it's one of the most magical experiences about having a pet. And I guess from Cupcakes, with now her passing, there's also a part where I feel like she's given me space now to live my life and, you know, to go for the things that I want to go for, to study, to have time to do that, to work more on my fears and phobias and not be so consumed. But I know that God gave me time to be at home, full time almost, to be with her and look after her, and I don't regret a second. To be with her every single day and care for her and love her has been the most special thing in the world. Special thing in the world. I honestly, I thank God so much for that, because I gave myself such a hard time that I was like, oh, I'm not employed, or, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going through so much anxiety that I'm trying to work on, blah 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 blah. But I had purpose. I used to think I didn't, but I did, and that purpose was being of service, which I am already to you watching this, posting videos, but then as well I was of service to Moosey. And I did not know that I was of service until she went, and it just changed everything. It changed everything for me. Sorry. Sometimes you don't see the beauty of yourself in your life until some things can happen where you can finally see it. Like hardships, you can see it, you know, or if you take a step back. And yeah, I just know as well that Cupcakes is with me, and I was told by Danny as well that she will send me through the next fur baby that comes through my life. But until then, I really want to have an animal communication session just to sort of connect with her a little bit more. And I'm just finding small ways to honor her and just, yeah, have more time with her. But that's what's been happening. And at the same time, my hand has almost gone back to normal. Like, I'm still experiencing chilblains, like from the weather and stuff, because chilblains happen with temperature issues, which it's been such a cold winter as well, and I've been quite stressed, and like I have a lot of other health conditions, but just to see that magical journey of the stress relief, and with Cupcakes and with where I am now, it's just that picture comes together, and I just want to live life now in honouring Cupcakes, my Moosey, my little baby. So that is a big reason to why I have not been around as such, but I really want to come back and do some more videos and things, and like, just now that I have time with myself and I can think, and you know, the responsibility has lessened, which I don't ever regret it, but sometimes when you're in full care of someone or a pet, it can feel like a lot of sacrifice. Or even it's like when you're a mum, you know, when you're a parent, everyone feels that realm of sacrifice, but when they're sick, it's just harder. Sometimes it's harder. But when you're able to have help, or you know, when it's time to have that time where they need to cross over, or whatever it is, whatever stage it is, when you can have sort of someone help you with that weight, it just makes a difference for you to sort of have that time for yourself and things like that. But just grief is a very different realm. But I guess now I have that space and I have that time to breathe, to feel, to process, to see what's next for Sarah. And I know Cupcakes would want that. I guess because before this video, I was going to... There's a video I have pre-filmed. This was before Cupcakes, but I went away with Matt to go visit his gran, which I mentioned in my last video, and I did sort of a little vlog there that it's all ready to go, but I want to post this out first, and then I think I'll post that. So yeah, I just didn't want to just randomly post that before this. I think I wanted to share with you, and I wanted you guys to know what was going on. But yeah, that's the update of where I am. And I guess on a lighter note, there's so much more like fruitfulness and ideas that I want to bring to the channel, where of course, as we know, Wicked for Good is coming out. Ariana is releasing makeup collections and fragrances and all these exciting things, which for sure, I'll be doing some videos on that. And Halloween is coming, which is my favorite month, and I want to do some like Halloween triggers. I like Christmas, like this is sometimes my favorite part of the year. And then like my birthday is coming up, Cupcakes' birthday is coming up, so, and Matt, gosh, there's so much. But yes, there's a couple of things I have for intended ideas, but if you have any ideas that you want to see from me, please pop it below. Yeah, pop some ideas below and I'll keep it in my little ideas section to do. I just hope that from now I can kind of start to have my creative flow and show up, even if it's for Moosey, because sometimes I find it hard to show up for myself with certain things, and I'm very proud of myself today, and I know that Moosey was here to help me do that. So I'm very grateful. But I just thank you for your patience if you've been waiting for me to make a video, and I also just thank you for, I guess, holding space for me to sit here and explain and get a little bit emotional. It's like, to sometimes describe to people online, you know, it's sometimes hard to express full emotion, you know, and I was doing my best to keep myself composed, because yeah, I'm in a bittersweet where it feels really sad but peaceful at the same time. So I don't know, but there's no description for grief. Everyone can feel different at different points in times, and that's okay, that's normal. But I just thank you for being here, and just thank you for understanding and just being a beautiful audience for me. You all are so very special, and I'm so grateful to have made this channel to connect with you and open up and become a bit more vulnerable, because it's not easy. And sometimes, because I'm sitting here, I'm talking to a camera, you know, as much as I'm talking to you, I can't see the person on the other side, so sometimes I feel like I'm talking with myself, but having to be a bit professional too. seriously thank you for just sitting here with me, and I hope you enjoyed just listening and just keeping me company. And I hope I've kept you company as well. But yeah, I will post the little vlog voiceover video, so it will be from a few weeks ago, but I still think it's valid to share. And then of course, as like Wicked comes and Halloween, there will be some videos coming too, so hopefully things go well, and hopefully my hand gets a lot better as well too. But again, thank you. And if you, where was I going? I guess if you have not subscribed, please subscribe so you can receive more ASMR content like this, because I really do want to post. And if you don't want to miss any videos that I do, you can hit the bell icon as well. But if you subscribe, at least you know when I post, and you can find my videos and things like that. Otherwise, if you did like this video, please give it a like, or you can share a comment. Just as I said at the start, please let me know how you're going. I want to be here for you. If you've had any experience with pet loss or pet grief, or just even if your pet is unwell, just you can share it with me. I want to be here for you, and just tell me how you're going as well. I've always wanted a community where we can connect and talk and share and just give a little bit of life and sparkle to one another, you know, especially through hard times. So please, you can do that with me, okay? But other than that, please look after yourself and take care of yourself, okay? Please take care of yourself. And I will see you in the next video.